Hey guys, it's Maggie Lismus here. Hope you guys are having a great day. Alright, and I've definitely prepared myself for what I'm going to talk about in this video. I got the clothes and everything for it, as you can see right there. The tank top for the dad. Also, yeah, this hat. Definitely right here as well, looking quite nice. And I also add a chain just to, kind of add some style to it. Because, when I buy apparel of this stuff, I also want to look good in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's also what makes it more fun. Anyway, so what I want to do in this video is talk about, comparing my own childhood to the lives of these two amazing healers right here. I watched this show a lot, and I just cannot get enough of it, really. I'm sure a lot of you who watch this show too can't get enough of it really either. But anyway, let's get into that. So first off, I'm 22, no kids, none of that stuff. And first off, let me talk about how I discovered it. So when I was 21, just after I turned 21, I got home from a birthday trip to Las Vegas. Then after that, I get a new job, and I decide to join my gym that I'm currently going to right now. When I joined that gym, I discovered that they have this daycare that you can easily peek into right behind the front desk. And they have a TV to turn some, shows and videos on for the kids to watch. And they would turn this on for kids just about all the time. My first glance at the show itself, I was completely mesmerized by how good that the animation and character design looked. And you know what? Before this, I actually did come across it plenty of times scrolling through Disney Plus, noticing how it was always trending #1 just about, but never really taking the interest in looking at it because as an adult, never had the interest in looking into modern kids shows, especially because I suspect they're trash. Oh, but this is on a whole different level, I tell you. You already know. So, anyway, yeah. When I first saw the show itself at my gym, they would play it all the time when I'd go. I'd peek inside and they'd play it a lot, and I just couldn't help but think of how good it looked. So at some point, I decided to watch it for myself and watch all the way through, and here I am now, making this video especially. And also buy some merch and post about it on Instagram. Anyway, what I'm going to do in this video, as what is entitled, is I actually want to compare my own childhood to the amazing childhood of these two pups right here. Oh, here's her sister right there. Let's not forget her. Quite the god tier characters, I tell you that. Anyway, so, you know what? At the beginning of the show, these pups are 6 and 4 years old. I'm going to imagine myself from those ages. When I was 4 years old, starting in 2005, I recall being in preschool at that time. And you know what? I'll just think of all the ages these characters are in this show. Like Bluey is 6 and 7, Bingo's 4 and 5. So I'll just think of the times I was those ages, going from ages 4 to 7, from the years 2005 to 2009. Anyway, yeah. And when you watch this show, of course, you see every single episode, they're always playing a game with their endless, unfathomable imagination. You know what I mean? It's like I don't get it. We don't get where these kids come up with this stuff. It's just truly spectacular, and when we watch it, it just looks so much fun for even us to do, even us grown-ups if we have to. And it just makes you wish, oh my man, we all wish that we would have had such amazing childhoods like the one that we see them have, But as for me, my childhood was completely different than the lives of these kids that you see in this show. What I did was, I was never really one to actually use my imagination for gameplay that much in my life. I mean, I've had some toys to play with, but never really playing games with my own imaginations with friends or by myself, really, or with my parents. No, I was kind of one to really play things by myself and with some certain friends I made throughout my life growing up. Anyway, yeah. My biggest ideas for fun, unlike these kids what I did was I loved watching a lot of Nickelodeon and a bit of Cartoon Network shows going from those ages. And what I loved to do was play a lot of video games. And at the time, the consoles that were the big deal the consoles I loved playing were on my PS2, my Game Boy Advance SP, a Nintendo DS Lite, a Nintendo Wii, Yeah, and those are the only consoles that came out from that era, going from those ages from 4 to 7. Quite the fun time, I tell you that, for me. But I was never one to use my imagination for fun, and watching this show, I honestly wish I would have. You know? But I was a kid that wasn't really all about being too silly and whatnot. I watch these shows and think, oh wow, my mind cannot fathom how creative their imaginations are. I could never create games like that. What I would do though is at recess at school, I would play certain games, I guess, with friends, but I'd mostly just hang out on the playground on some equipment, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. And also, okay, when I was away from the screen time, I would do things like I would ride my bike outside. I have a pretty big side yard. My parents have a pretty big side yard. And one thing I liked doing was um, hitting golf balls across the yard. Some plastic, some real, but it was never serious. I never broke any windows, but I did once hit a ball to the wall of the house, creating a loud sound. But no, I never broke anything with a golf ball or golf club at the time growing up. That was fun. And actually some games that were already invented with some friends too. Like, yeah, we of course play hide and seek, tag, and all that stuff. Not very much that you'd see in Bluey or whatnot, but yeah. You know, I just felt that I wanted to share this. And also another thing, recently my aunt uncovered some home videos of me and my cousins from one particular Christmas. Looking at that Christmas video, I was playing with a Nerf gun. So yeah, also we had Nerf guns at the time that we loved playing with too, and they were fun to play with along as well. If you remember going back to that era in the 2000s where Nerf guns were, you know, some of the best toys that you could play with and whatnot. Yeah, I guess that's all to really say about, you know, you know what, listen, one thing I want to say too is I love my parents with all my heart. I would never, you know, replace them with anybody, not even Bandit and Chili, never. But you know what? I love my parents too much to ever do that. So what I'll do, I'll just strive to be Bandit when I'm a father. But not just as a father, but also as a husband. An amazing husband, I tell you that. Always wanted to just get all silly in front of his kids, even if it might be, you know, embarrassing sometimes. But that's okay. When people understand the context, I can never laugh at you. I can only ever have respect for you. You know what I'm saying? When we're all committed to our kids' lives like that, we just try to be just like him. Anyway, yeah, thanks for hearing about that. And you know what? All right, here comes to the second part of my video real quick. Listen, I have news that was actually just released today online, the internet, that I'm going to share with you right now. But one thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to mention some, you know, spoilers. So listen, if you're not interested in what I'm about to tell you next, all the spoilers and whatnot, then click away from this video right now. But if you're interested in hearing about this, feel free to stick around because it's some things about the upcoming episodes. Anyway, yeah, so here we go. If you guys are gonna click away, I'll just say thanks for watching this part, but you're gonna stick around, pay attention now. All right, so they just announced the release date of the Ghost Basket episode and the Sign episode, the 28-minute long special. The Ghost Basket episode is to release April 7th at 8 a.m. That's in Australia, so Australian time. So that's 17 hours ahead from Pacific time in the United States, the Pacific Northwest. So by the time that releases, it'll actually be Saturday at 3 in the afternoon here in Pacific time, actually. So that's how we'll feel about it. Anyway, and what the episode talks about, some suspected that the episode talked about was going to be about like a Halloween episode, but no, actually it's not. What it's about is the grannies return, Rita and Janet, and they play a game where like Bandit's being like a realtor, and they're want to sell Rita and Janet's house, which they don't want to. And so they come across another seller who's Chili. But what they want to do, Rita and Janet, make it seem like the house is haunted to scare away other sellers. So that's pretty much what it's about. But listen, the end of the episode there's something that you got to see. There's a for sale sign at the house that they live in. And that just follows up. to what's going to happen in the sign a week later. The sign, when you Google the sign, the information, the description it gives is when the healer house gets put up for sale, Bluey's not too happy about the news. So I guess it's going to mention, that's what it's going to be talking about, I guess. When I first heard about this, I looked it up this morning. I was kind of like hyperventilating, but I shouldn't be because I happen to know what's going to happen afterwards. I don't know what the whole episode will be about, but it's going to contain Rad and Frisky, actually, so I look forward to that for sure. That brings up to, the reason is because I realized that they're actually not going to be moving. Let me explain how. That follows up to the episode that comes after that, the surprise episode, and that just shows that the sign is not going to be the episode to conclude the season. Okay, that's interesting, right? But anyway, the surprise episode, in the end of that particular episode, they fast forward into the future, where they're still in the same house, and Chili says something like, "Can you believe your dad was going to sell this house?" And he was like, "You're going to keep bringing me on about that? So you know what? Don't worry. They're not going anywhere." But I'll admit that this morning when I heard about it, it still made me freak out. I'm like, I want to know what happens in this episode, even though I already know they're not going to be moving away, stuff like that. I just got to know, why would they be moving in the first place, you know? I got to say, why would they want to move out of that house? Is it like did Ben have a new job opportunity or something like that? I don't know, and it just stops? It just get canceled? I have no idea what it could be, but I have to wait the next month and a half to know. Even though these episodes will only release... Actually, I'm not sure if they're only going to release in Australia first, or maybe I heard that they are going to release these episodes globally at the same time, but I'm not fully sure. Anyway, that's what I gotta say. The season concludes with just basic fun and games, I guess. The sign will include some, tears and surprises and laughing moments, but I think it'll all work out happily in the end, where no one's going anywhere. And that'll bring us, after the surprise, I'll take a break for a while, and by the end of this year, the beginning of next year, will come the 4th season. I am truly pumped for that myself. I hope and pray to God that this series will continue for as long as possible and only stop when it's the perfect time for it to stop. You know what I'm saying? I agree that nothing should last forever. I do agree that even all the great, amazing shows and movies, franchises that we watch should come to an end. But at the same time, I know it's sad, but at the same time, it should just stop at some point. Otherwise, they just run out of good ideas, and then we continue with bad ideas, which is not fun, which just ruins it, you know what I'm saying? All I can say is that these pups will always hold a big place in my heart. I'm so grateful for them. I'm so grateful I discovered this show, and I aspire to be as amazing of a dad and husband as Bandit is when the time comes. I just pray that that'll happen at the perfect time. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, spoilers you didn't want to hear, of course you click away from the video, but if you stuck around, got to hear, if you're happy with the information I gave you, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll catch you guys sometime around in the long run. You have a good day, everyone. Bye.